I'm sorry, lad.
Left dirt. Left dirt. Left dirt. Left dirt.
Someday.
Where's I'm sorry.
Someday.
Where's I'm sorry. Left dirt.
Why you never
Bums. 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 Left dirt.
why you never
Bums.
someday.
Where's I'm sorry. What you like?
Someday.
Where's I'm sorry. What you like?
Someday.
Where's I'm sorry.
Someday.
Where's I'm sorry.
Here we go. Ah! There we go.
Oh,
Well, hello everyone. Thank you. Sorry, I had it. I did it wrong. So, hello everyone. Welcome to another Darachat. I'm of course with the amazing Scottish Viking Gaming, or SFG, as we like to call him on the street. In the back corner of the alleyways, he's called FSG. What or SVG? Sorry, that would have been a different story right there.
also known as the real BLM.
That's right. And the funny thing too, right, is that one that Pogo did is called White Magic. So I was like, I don't know if I should, because white magic could also mean like, white versus dark magic and that sort of thing. But then people are like, white magic, what? Some titles you have to ask yourself. But yes, that was White Magic by Pogo. I got that. I just uploaded that yesterday, so I do again. Majority of his stuff is really good, and I don't get copyrighted for it, so I enjoy it. I play it. There you go.
Copyright free. There it is.
That's right. Yeah, he's one of the good ones. So thank you, sir, for coming on. It's been crap, I can't remember when we said this, but it's been a time in the waiting there because I think you were from
2 or 3 weeks.
yeah, well, I think you were a recipient. I think the first time I met you, you were a recipient of my PIF stream. So I can't remember. It's been a while, but I do know that I have been in a PIF stream. It was Pudge. Pudge was on when we visited you, and I remember that, and so that was pretty fun. But yeah, I can't remember how it came across you initially. It's how time goes on, you forget. You're just like, who am I?
I'm
What is
actually
going on here?
coming up on 1 year now.
Yeah, wow, that's pretty awesome. I mean,
I
so
can't wait.
you've been on the. So does that mean you've been doing content creation for a whole year, or you just been on Rumble for a whole year?
Nope, I've been on Rumble since 2019, and I started streaming. I want to say June.
June, yeah.
Yeah, every month.
I started doing this. I started just uploading pre-recorded videos in like May of last year, but I didn't start live streaming on both ends till what was it, August of last year. So
Nice.
yeah, I guess you could say I've been a year, but then not, because there's a difference between pre-recorded videos and live streams. Because
Yeah.
at the time, Rumble had its like 5 follower thing.
You've been offering for over a year, offering videos. So
Yeah, yeah,
I'd call
and
it a year.
there you go.
Pretty easy.
Yeah, and the funny thing is like, yeah, because I stream to both YouTube and Rumble, and you're gonna see the difference, obviously, but it's been an interesting time doing this stuff, because of course I'm like, I'm so green at this. I should be like a young sapling in the forest, so small, so young, only
So bristling with life and ready.
I can do this, please. And then someone from truck trying to take down trees mows me down. But that's a different story. That's a different story.
Let me grow.
Please, sir, let me grow. I'm so small and sap-like. So,
I'm so happy.
well, that's on only for certain occasions. But anyway, so where'd you come up with the name? Because I don't think you're Scottish by any means.
Actually, my heritage is Scottish, Danish, and Italian. So
Oh,
bit of the Rome in there. So I'm guessing my Roman ancestors, they came, settled in the Anglo-Saxon area where there was tons of Scots and Danes, and they all
just intermingled.
intermingled, and
Yeah.
I'm amalgamation of that. And so Scottish Viking Gaming is where it came from. Me and my buddy get these red beards. We just kind of like, you're a Scotsman. No, you're a Scotsman.
We're all a
So-
Scotsman. Ah.
Yep, settled on the 2. I figured if I'm one or the other, it can be both. Why
Yeah.
not?
And
So Scottish Viking Gaming was created. Plus, I wear a kilt on my, like, when I do the big streams.
yeah.
50 followers, 100 followers, and the next one is 500 followers. We're gonna have a new
Nice.
kilt picked out for that one.
New kill. All right, everyone, are you ready to
yeah.
see it? Let's get
Are
it.
you ready? And I on those streams, I only wear a kilt.
Oh, whoa.
Nothing else.
Whoa.
Nope.
I'm,
Nothing on my feet. Nothing on my top. Nothing.
I'm out after that point, because I know where that's going to lead.
As long as I don't start, picking stuff up off the floor behind me, we're good.
You fit in. No, but I am hearing myself echo over there, so
All right.
yeah.
Let me
I
fix
don't know,
that here.
I don't know if it's because you're using your speakers to hear me. I just figured, I heard myself laugh, and I was like, that's fun sometimes, but not when it's from someone else's speaker.
All right. What do you got? Say it out loud. Scream it loud. Say it proud.
Boo, boo, boo. No, I can't hear myself. No, you're good.
All right. Fixed it. Yeah, it's kind
Uh,
of warm in here. Headset will just make me sweaty, so
yeah.
I'm dealing
It
without
seems-
for now.
It seems like a very encapsulated room, like you've backed yourself into a hot box, and you're just like, okay, kids, let's see how long I can go.
Yep. So this is actually my new studio room.
Nice,
I just built it on Monday, so yesterday.
nice.
I did my first stream from here yesterday. That was in the new studio,
Yeah.
Heavy Metal Monday, and I have yet to add all the ACs to all the windows and the fans going and all that
Yeah.
stuff. So right now, yeah, it gets kind of hot with the electronics, but
Yeah.
I've got everything else turned off except you guys, so
Yeah.
it shouldn't be too bad. I'll be nice and red, like a good Irishman.
I've been in battle all day long. No, you've just been in the hot box. Aye!
Get in the hot box. That's right.
Oh goodness, but yeah, it's sort of like yeah. I mean, you're great for the winter though, right? Because your computer will just keep you warm during.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, the heat all rises up here. I wouldn't even have to turn it on because it just stays nice
Oh,
and
yeah.
hot up here. So
That's
I'm
right.
set in this room.
That's right. Everyone goes to your room because it's so much warmer in there. Yeah, and that's a funny thing too. Is with computer when you're doing your stuff, because some games can run you hotter than others. Like if it's very graphic taxing. I don't think Fortnite's that graphic taxing, but I mean it depends on the level and all
Well,
that stuff.
I don't actually use the computer for any form of gaming. I've tried that a couple times, and it's a Gen 4, so it's kind of it doesn't handle both at the same time. So I capture card from Xbox Series S onto the computer, and then from the computer out.
Nice.
I'm actually right in the middle of, as you can see, I put it up on X. I'm right in the middle of building a new PC that I've been working on for a couple months now.
Yeah.
And I've used nothing but my Rumble earnings to put this thing together. And
Oof.
I'm going to say it, I spent $1,500 for all these pieces. It'll be a lot better in the end because I had Llama do the blueprint for me.
Oh, nice.
And he knows what's up. I trust him. So I said, all right, man, I'm going to take this. I'm going to build it, and we're going to see where it goes. And hopefully I'll be able to both game and stream from the same PC. That, which I doubt is going to be taxing on this new device. But if it is even slightly taxing, I still have the old PC to capture card onto. So I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah, I did that for a bit. Like I streamed gaming, like I did like some, I did like the Blob once, and I've done a few other games, or I did like Minecraft stuff. Now I played a modded Minecraft because, hey, if you like strong, I did a modded Minecraft because once I played mods in Minecraft, it's hard to go back to regular vanilla because it's just so expanded in essence. Like there's mods that you can go to different planets, or no, sorry, not different planets, different planets in our solar system. There are ones that have magic. Oh yeah, it's called Galacticraft. If you've ever heard of it, Galacticraft is, I don't know if it's still being worked on or not, but it was where you could go to Jupiter, Mars, the moon, all this other stuff. It was incredible, but it only went so far for like the Minecraft version thing, right? And then there was there's magic ones. There's a Pokemon one called Pixelmon. There's
I didn't know that game got that in depth. Really, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, well, you have to have a certain. I don't know. It's like a mod manager or something like that. Like this, Feed the Beast was the sort of big thing back in the day, but now it's like Curse Forge or whatever it is. You go to that, and you could download your favorite mod pack. You still have to have the main Minecraft, right? So I bought Minecraft like years and years and years ago, long time ago when I was small.
Way back in the day.
it was so far back I'd have to run back in time. But yeah, it's so I had that, and then of course you had to use the whatever they call it, the Forge or whatever, a Forge launcher, and then you could download the mod pack you wanted to play, and it is just so much. There's so much for Minecraft that I couldn't go back to just playing vanilla, and I rarely played vanilla at all. So it's like, oh, I can kill chickens and stuff.
Oh, I never knew how to play.
Yeah. When you're in vanilla, it's sort of like, oh yeah, this is pretty nice. You go to mods, like, oh my gosh, no.
The greatness.
The greatness. There was one where you could one with jetpacks. There's one with jetpacks.
Oh yes.
And I was like, that's right, baby. Daddy's got some new jetpacks. One with electricity, one with a nuclear reactor. Oh, it just gets wild from there. The creativity.
I once played a Fallout version of Minecraft, like a Fallout world that my daughter showed me, but that was years ago.
Yeah.
I didn't know that it even went that in depth. The most in-depth thing I know is my kids play Roblox a lot, and they show me a lot of the stuff that they find on there that people build. That's pretty amazing. But
yeah,
I was unaware that Minecraft got that deep.
Yeah, well, it's not Minecraft; it's creators, making those mod packs sort of thing, right? Because Minecraft, yeah. Every version they kind of add something to it, but not to that level. Like there are mod packs where it's just a single block in the sky, and so there's one called Sky Factory, right? And what you're starting on one dirt block and a tree, and you have to build from that.
What?
Yeah, yeah, it's interesting. It's a very long process in the beginning. Once you start to automate stuff, it gets quicker. But yeah, literally start from a tree. You widen the platform around this dirt block, right? Because if you fall, you can lose your stuff. So
Yeah.
it's crazy. But yeah, Minecraft. Yeah, it's been a very long time. But once I started doing this stuff, I didn't go back to gaming very much. I mean, I play games, but usually majority of my time is full-time job and then this. And then,
Yeah.
trying to keep up my health, of course. But yeah, it's tough. I wanted to play a game after yesterday, but I was like, I'm tired. It's not enough time in the day.
There never is enough time, man. I know what you mean. I work up to 52 hours every freaking week, and then
Jeez.
also do this for at the least 2 hours. I want to say 6 days a week, pretty much.
Is it
Um,
is it am I allowed to ask a general of what it is you do?
yeah, mostly just video games. I mean, I don't deviate far from video games. I think I did once, like I talked over Reefer Madness while it was playing, and I was trimming some butt at the time, so it kind of all made sense. But other than that,
No, I meant
um,
like work stuff because you said
work.
yeah.
I make polyurethane and polyvinyl chloride slurries in giant 1,200-pound vats.
Mhm.
And that gets laid out onto big giant rolls of paper and sent through an oven that looks like a giant rainbow,
Mhm.
and they cook it, and while it cooks, it turns into foam. They make
Really?
foam for tons of applications. Yeah, like car decals, this double sticky sided stuff that holds car decals on.
Hmm.
Some of the stuff we make holds windows in skyscrapers while they're building the trim around the window. It's very, very strong, and it holds the window in place until they got the binding around it. So yeah,
Nice.
there's a lot of applications for the stuff we make.
That's interesting because I mean, of course, obviously you kind of have to wear all the safety equipment because that stuff is dangerous and hot. So
I
don't
wear a ton of shit, man.
man. I think I don't think I've gotten that dangerous. I think the worst it got to some degree was like having to deal with like human leftovers because I was custodial for about yeah. You're a
Oh
nerd. You're a
yeah,
nerd.
man. Do you get
You're a
them
nerd.
old? Okay. Do you get them old people that take a shit, wipe their ass, and leave the toilet paper next to the toilet because back in 1902 they couldn't put it down the fucking drain because it would hurt their septic system or some shit?
I will give you a better one. So I did custodial for 8.5 years at a non-for-profit thing. I won't say the name because I don't know if there's legalese or whatever, but
Yeah.
so there was one morning I was cleaning there's 4 different locker rooms. There's 5 or 6, but just in the area there's 4. There's men, older men, just older men, and then there's boys and men, dads and sons or whatever, and then you
Yeah.
have older women, and then you have women and daughters, that sort of thing. And
Okay.
so I was in the men and boys one, and I can't remember what I was doing before, but I go in and I find a number 2 on the floor. Yeah,
What?
someone didn't make it to the bathroom in time. Either could have been a small kid, could have been an older gentleman, because sometimes older
Oh
gentlemen use
man, I'll
that
tell you,
bathroom.
them kids can drop deuces like freaking male 700-pound dudes sometimes. It's gross.
Yeah, no, it's So I of course I was wearing gloves, so no issue there. Just toilet paper and up.
Yeah.
But that's probably and the funny thing was is that I had to at a certain point I had to get up real early before the building opened because we didn't have a female staffer to clean the women's side. So
Oh yeah.
so I had to go do that, and you ladies lose a lot of hair in the drain. That's what I'll say. I mean, guys,
A lot.
guys had it somewhat bad too. I mean, it's just whatever. But women were a little more messier Women were
Most guys have short hair, so it goes down the drain easy. Women, it just two sides of it go down the drain and get stuck on the drain, just draped over it. And soon it becomes this huge blob of nasty fucking no thanks.
Blob.
I used to do custodial, man. I know it sucks, but I did it at a mall.
That's even worse.
God, it was bad, man. It was bad.
I've
seen shit writing on the wall. It's bad.
Yeah, well, not only that, but they treat you horribly. So,
Yeah,
it's like
yes, they did.
There's a mall within my area, and it just sometimes you go to walk, and sometimes when you see the people out, they just look soulless. They just look like they've lost their soul to the place. I mean, if they get paid, well, fine, whatever. But still, man, I can remember. I think
their soul died with the dream of malls being a thing for a long time.
Well, and the funny thing is, like, malls themselves are not on a very long lifespan, right? Like, as I understand it,
the internet took over.
Yeah. Well, not only that, but malls rely on their anchor spots, right? They rely on their anchor spots. And then if you lose enough, and there's the inner stores like food or whatever, those are sort of smaller things. But if you have a majority of anchor stores leave and not enough inside, I've seen malls go dead before. Okay. That's when you know.
That's what our mall's doing right now. It's got Target and JCPenney left attached to it, and everything else is just... Everything else disappeared.
So my mall has an Apples in it, so maybe it will last long. Who knows? but it had it had a Sears, and Sears went out years ago, right? Sears.
Yeah, ours has a Sears. It's just empty.
Yeah, it went bankrupt years ago, and I'm waiting for the day when someone on YouTube will go and explore the demise of it all. Just like, they used to have things in here. It's like an archaeology expedition, right? You just go in and it's like, look at this, it's an old salt. Look at that right there. Oh my gosh, this book.
People used to eat here together.
here's an old black moldy, right? Like piece of pretzel right there. Look at that. Yeah, I've seen some of those though, where some people go to these desolate places. Like there have been like movie theaters, malls, and just like, you don't want squatters there, but it's like, make it you can make money off it. Have people sign a piece of paper, have them give money. It's like, let's explore.
Turn them into apartments, but
oh yeah, or they get turned into some like. Some other, if they're on good property area, they get turned into something else, like some conglomerate takes over, and it's just like, well, how about that?
Yeah, the Vermont, across the border in Vermont, the mall just closed a few years ago, and it just sits there empty. All the doors chained up, all this real estate just rotting away. Could be turned into apartments or something. Could be used for something. You could house, I don't know how many freaking homeless vets in there, and just locked tight.
Yeah, it's a money thing though. If there's not a big behind like putting money into it, because I mean, to make places for just vets to live, you're gonna have to be a millionaire or billionaire, whichever. And as far as I've heard, they're not very forthgiving on building apartments for, because.
What if we pin a little Ukrainian flag to all our homeless vets? Right? Do you think they'll give them money then if we have like little Ukrainian flags pinned to them?
You have to fake an accent. You have to fake an accent though.
I am here to live for free.
I've come from country where English not so good, so I come here. You give me a home. I live there. We good.
It's good.
It's good.
Everything in Russia is better with vodka. Yeah.
Look, I start fire with vodka. Look, I shine car with vodka. I even do my shoes. Look, they shine like stars themselves. Vodka changes everything.
I shower with vodka.
Cold, hot, it doesn't matter. It's all there. Vodka changes world. and you're just like, dude, just drop the accent. It's okay. It's like, no. I get billions if I do this. I keep going.
Just need small kickback for Biden. 10% for big guy.
You just have some guy on like YouTube or whatever. He's just doing all this stuff. It's like people are like, is he is he really a Russian? Is he really? And it's like 2 years down the road, he like done it like, all right, guys, I'm done with this. Like, oh my gosh, oh my god,
Whoa!
liar, liar.
Give the money back. You're not Ukrainian.
Oh yeah, they'll definitely go free. Now it's like, get the pitchforks. And then they don't do it.
Vodka and hard bass. 24/7 life of Boris.
Playing in the big screen. I've come to take woman back. it's just a lot of Ukrainians doing parodies of our movies, just like, Willis, where are you? Live free, go home. Oh man. But yeah, it's but yeah, it's a sad state of affairs. But then again, it's like nobody, we can have these content creators all day long saying this isn't right, this shouldn't happen, blah blah blah, and yet they don't do anything about it. Oh, let's bring attention.
The most I can do is donate, and then, so I do that. I don't have time for being an activist. I barely have enough time to stream. So folds of honor, guys, donate.
There you go. Yeah, that's something.
A good one.
That's something, at least. At least it's an action. But you see all these people who, political or whatever, I don't give a rat's behind. It's just all talk, no action. Now some of them do donate and talk, but my thing is right. Stop talking and start doing. Like you have Gary Sinise out there doing his thing, and you barely see him.
If I had Gary Sinise's money, I'd be doing Gary Sinise's thing.
But I mean, you don't see him out there on YouTube, or whatever. Like, oh, this is horrible, this is awful. No, he's proving a point, and it just seems like, again, like I've told other content creators I've had on, it just feels like a lot of content creators become the 24/7 news, right? We had CNN, we had MSC, we had all this stuff, the articles, whatnot. Now you're just having other, YouTubers and other people do it because they're just reading an article. They're saying, "Oh, that's so awful," and then they don't do anything. They go on to the next one tomorrow, and it's just like, where's the change? Where's the change?
What kind of suggestions do you have for like small time creators like us that we can do beyond speaking on the mic and donating?
Well, I mean, donating is pretty much as far as point as you get, right? Because if you're a small time creator, you've got a full time job. Your time is taken up, especially if you have a family, right? You have a family, so your time is like 90. Yeah, you have 98% of family and all that stuff. So donating is the action you can do because it's replenishable, right? Time cannot be replenished, but money can. So donating is the way to go. But if you have time and money, then your best bet is just to bring action to, right? Don't I'd say, you can talk about it, but then you go and then make action on it, right? Like there are people who what was that guy, the Scott Presser, right, where he would go and he would clean up neighborhoods and stuff. That's the action. But I mean, it's not that hard to figure out that action. Hey, you be legend, nice to see you here, sir. Nice to see you. And yes, I am streaming to YouTube because finally it's working. Yesterday was a bit of an hassle. But yeah, it's just like, if you're a small time creator, the only thing you really can do is just donate, like you said, because you can't, your time is picked up also, right? You got a job, you gotta feed your family, you gotta feed yourself, right? If you do have a moment, you kind of just, you figure out how to do an action upon it. Like looking at to me towards an answer is not really a great answer to begin with anyway. I don't know. It's just
not an answer, just suggestions.
Well, even that, because it's sort of like, well, who gave you that right authority to do so? I'm like, look, all I can say is this is what I see. And I see a lot of content creators, I see a lot of content creators, maybe not big, not all big, right? There's some small that do 24/7 news, but it feels like they get stuck. Yeah. Well, you mostly do gaming, so that's a different story. But when you do like
reading, I do talk politics while I'm gaming, and mostly that's so that I can grab the attention of the third party. So there's me, there's my political enemy, i.e. the Democrats, for the most part, liberals or progressives, whatever you'd like to call them. And then there's the third party. And when I speak out about stuff half the time when I do it at work, I realize that the people at work are just like, wait, what? Wait, what are you talking about? I didn't hear about that. Of course you didn't. That's about the only reason. Just so I can reach that third party that hasn't heard that information, and then they go, oh, maybe I should go look that up. Holy shit.
Yeah, I've already made my statement on politics, so don't get me started. I don't go into rants on politics. It's all BS, all identities, all bullcrap.
really
it's tax for the tribe. You really want to get down to humanity. You can have a favorite football team. Look at football. Look at sports, right? You have a favorite team, whatever. Tax for the tribe.
I don't watch sports really.
Okay, all right. For the example of the conversation, sir. Okay, you have to triple. You have to chip.
My wife likes the Cowboys. There you go. She likes.
Well, that sounds like you need a dumper then. No. You like the Cowboys?
Why do people keep saying that?
But it's sort of like that. It's sort of like your favorite team, right? It's just like, oh, here's the Raiders, here's the Cowboys. They fight each other, and you fight against you. It's all dumb. It's all dumb. I have to keep saying it over and over again, guys. Your life is on a finite scale, and you're fighting over the most ridiculous of things. Yeah, we should be worried about countries using nuclear weapons against us, or even our own. But at the end of the day, what are you doing about it?
I can't stop the button, that's for sure.
That's true. You can entertain to stop it, but the thing of it is, right? It's like people will complain about their taxes not going well, all this other stuff not going well. But and I understand you're busy with stuff over here, right? You've got a life with your families, whatever.
We have our vote.
Yeah, but that only goes so far. At the end of the day, from my perspective, the really thing that's only going to do any amount of difference is if you had, say, 75% of the country just go to the Capitol Hill and just sit there and just tank it.
God, if only.
You would have to tank your own. That's it. If America really wants to change, if America really wants to ramp itself, it has to tank its own economy and its governorships at the source.
Nationwide strike, pretty much.
Yeah. Oh yeah, oh baby, you wouldn't stay at nation. You wouldn't stay in the nation. You would go to the Capitol Hill because that's part of the issue, right? You Congress and all this stuff. Just like, sorry guys, we're kicking you out. This building's gonna be vacated, so you're done. That's basically what
you see other countries' whole governments resign, and you're just like, God, why aren't they doing that here? Fuck. Why can't y'all just resign?
Well, as they tell you in life, if there's a troublesome thing or whatever, like drama, whatever, you nip it in the bud, right? You kind of hit things at the source, and of course, maybe that's not the source, but symbols get destroyed and all this other stuff over a period of time. Like, we're lucky the pyramids of Giza are still around, but who's going to care about the Washington Monument 1,000 years from now, right? Like, we're living on a finite time basis where we have to make a decision now, not 50 years in the future when the people who are having that motivation and innovation and thought process going, and they're already dead, and then the 2 generations down, they're like,
Yeah, well, it does seem like there's a large awakening happening with the people again, though. A lot more.
Will it be enough?
Yeah, I don't know. God, I hope. I don't think it will. I think the overindulgence of college has ruined a lot of minds. And brought to bear a sort of severely weak man's mentality and an overbearingly strong women's mentality, and it's this imbalance. Even in the eyes of the Lord, if you want to think of it that way, that imbalance is coming to rest now, in the form of just some of the most ridiculous policies that are heaped upon us, sometimes when we don't even know. And that needs to be righted in some way, shape, or form. Like, even my wife will sit there and just say, feminism is useless and I hate every feminazi out there. Because if there's a structure to life where things run smoothly, she was the structure of that life where she was with a big ween, and he wasn't a strong man.
Mhm.
And she lived that life for a few years where she was kind of just dominating over him, telling him how things need to be done, and her world went to shit.
Mhm.
And then she met a conservative man who said, no, I'm not going to deal with this, and this. If you would like to continue on together, you're going to have to see that there's pretty much told her, I love you, honey, but there's this line in the sand,
Mhm.
and standing at that line, and a decision needs to be made on our entire household. I'm going to make
Right.
that decision.
You know
I'm
what?
going to conversate with you and get your input. I'm still going to make that decision.
Yeah.
And
It's
she said, okay, that makes good sense. She's like, I shouldn't even be able to vote. I'm like, honey, come on.
yeah.
No, I should be in the draft and everything. I'm like, you're getting it now, honey, but
I there's different. I mean, for me, I'm not political by nature because I don't see the point to it. Like I get like, you know, Rome, the Senate and all this stuff. There's a need for debating a prospect of like debating on taxes, debating on, you know, who is allowed to come in,
that need
whatever.
is knowledge, my friend. That need is knowledge.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, the point of politics is really just a vie for power. That's basically it. Like a big chunk of life
Yeah.
is vying for a piece of power at the baseline of humanity, right? Like you go back to kings and queens, you go back to people in, well, not kings
The
and queens.
tribesman with the biggest stick.
Yeah. What was it saying that Roosevelt was like? The ugly stick, big ugly stick, or something like that. I can't remember.
Oh, speak softly and carry a big stick.
There you go. There you go. Yep. It was a club. It was a club, and they said, "All right, he's got one."
Yep.
But I just find though. I mean, I've told other people like this would be my last year to vote because I don't see the change people want. You know, they complain, they'll whine about the change they want, but what are they doing to change it? I don't when a person, right, because we're talking about power, right, just at the basis of it, because there's that book, what is it, the 48 rules of or 48 laws of power, I think it is. I think that's what it's
I
called.
don't remember.
But anyway, it's just like at the base of it, right, you're if someone can look at the Constitution and say it's just ink and parchment, you've already lost,
Yeah,
because they
pretty
can
much.
do because I know people are like, well, it grants us rights. Well, but you have to protect those rights because rights cannot protect themselves. You can say they're there, but
Yep.
if no one protects them, they're not there anymore. Just look
Yep.
at we can go back to history and look at different countries who had a dictator run them over. What happened to the rights? Oh, well, they disappeared. Exactly. Right? Someone
Slowly
powerful
but
enough,
surely,
someone
every
with
time.
yeah. So what's going to stop someone from saying, yeah, you know, that thing right there that you guys worship so much and you guys try to follow, yeah, we're not going to do that anymore. And then that just
Heathens.
off the scale. Heathens, I say, come at this wench, get out. But that's just, again, it's just my perspective. Oh, sorry. No, I'll just finish with, you know, it's my perspective. You can agree with me or disagree with me, but the conversation has to stop and the action has to start, because you can say you want the border closed, but oh no, the government's not doing its job. Well, what are you going to do now? I'm going to vote somebody in, but they're not doing their job. I'll vote somebody else in. Well, now we're going down this trail of all talk, no action. Look at that. I sometimes it needs to end, and it either ends when you're still alive, or it ends when ooh, hey, what? I think you did it wrong, stuff. I think you did it wrong. I think you have to do it on your end. Yeah. He was trying to raid me. I was like, you're trying to raid me from from my end, not your end. Yeah. It's okay. It's okay. Thank you, though. I appreciate that. I'll wait for it when it comes. Just all right, everyone. Hold on. We're gonna wait for the raid. No. But yeah, it's sort of like you either.
There it is.
Oh, there we go. Stuff Central. Thank you, sir. Thank you. He got
Thank
it
you,
right this time, guys. He did it. Yeah, we don't talk about it. It's like the black sheep in the family was like, they're here. Just talk. Just don't worry about it. But yeah, it's sort of like, if you want change to happen, are you going to do it now, or are you going to wait 1,000 years when it's not going to matter anymore? When the culture has holy shit, right? Because we talk about culture, right, and traditions. When some traditions have lasted a couple hundred years, depending on where you're from, Africa or whatever. But if you're talking about culture, right, the culture of Egypt isn't around very much anymore. It's completely changed from what it was back when you had Egyptians and stuff, right? There's no, stuffing up the nose for a mummy sort of thing. That's not happening anymore. That was part of the culture. What the U.S. can be like in 1,000 years? Well, it's not going to be the same what we have now, and the
It's going to be idiocracy, probably.
Maybe, or there won't be a constitution anymore, because that's how things work over a period of time. It's a slow drip on a stone. After a period of time, there's going to be a dent in that stone because it took millions of drops, thousands of years, or billions of drops, thousands of years, or whatever. And you see this sort of bowl thing kind of shaping the stone. That's what just happens with humanity. And that, again, this is just my perspective when you kind of have to, what's the word? Step back and retrospective, I think.
Evaluate, yeah.
Evaluate, there we go. Brain stopped. So, but anyway, but since you're on that aspect, you talked about vets a bit. What in your life has brought you to wanting to do that? I mean, were you in the military? Family in the military? What?
Yep, I was in the military. I joined 1 week before 9/11.
Wow, that's
Yep,
a long
I
time.
swore in, and then that weekend I went to my cousin's house, and he said, "Hey man, come look at the TV. I think you're going to war." And second plane hit as soon as I walked around the corner, and I was like, "Wow,
Yep.
okay."
Yep.
So yeah, I was in the military. I don't really consider myself a vet. I did volunteer. I did go in. I did finish basic training. I went to my unit and everything. But I was a kid, and I was heavily influenced by the people around me, and I made a lot of mistakes. So I came home without ever seeing combat. That's why I don't officially consider myself a veteran. Technically I am, but I don't feel like a veteran.
Right.
I just feel connected with veterans because I understand what they've been trained to do, which is to kill people. And that in and of itself is shitty, but for every one of them that went out and did it, it's even worse. So I try and keep up with all my veteran friends. So it's really based in my military service is why I it's pretty deep.
Yeah, I can understand that a bit, because it's a feeling of, well, I wasn't part of the action, so how can I consider myself part of the ordeal, right? Because I mean, but then again, there are a lot of people in the military, right? Like, I know it's sort of based off of something real, but MASH, right? There are a lot of people who were, corporals and all this other stuff, and they didn't see any action either. But still, part of that can affect them when you see a body or something of that nature, or if you just hear about it. Because when you hear about it, right, it's sort of like if they were in the city of Seoul or whatever, right, and they're just hearing about the war, but when you're out front, it kind of changes the retrospective. So that I can understand, because it kind of feels like you're just it was part of it, and they're like, you didn't see anything. So, well, I was still in the military, so. Yeah, it feels like a cheat. It feels like a cheat in a sense. Yeah. And it's funny. It's almost like it's almost well, I don't want to use the Forrest Gump thing, because he still went to war. So it still would have been funny though, because then again, like Gary Sinise, right? Because Gary Sinise was I think I can't remember what his foundation is, but I believe I heard the story of where he took 8 families of military people to Walt Disney World. That was a lot. That was
I was on the plane with him and everything.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. And there's there's a lot of charities that do that, but it doesn't solve the issue. For me, from looking at the outside, right? I've not served in the military. I've not. I mean, you have that thought of like, well, if I'm not going to do anything else with my life, But the thing is, like, when you're put in a position to take a life, what's the what? Not Unbroken, but it was the one with Hacksaw Ridge, I think it was. Hacksaw Ridge. It has
Yep.
Andrew Garfield in it. He was the first
Conscientious objector.
yeah. So he wouldn't shoot a gun, but he was first aid. I gotta tell you, man, that even if you're just that trying to go back for one more body, that was powerful. I don't know
Yeah.
how exaggerated to real that was, but when you and he was religious partly too, so of course there's that. But to be at a point where you're like, I'm not going to shoot a gun or whatever. You're going into the army and you're not going to shoot a gun, and they're like, okay, because I think at the point in time they didn't have that category, the conscientious.
No, they didn't.
So that was probably their first.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's sort of like, can you may see him as an enemy, right? And that's throughout all wars in history, but you can see him as an enemy, but when you take a life, can you live with it? Because it was just seen as enemy, right? You compartmentalize that. Enemy, down the enemy, done, right? But then you have points or whatever, and it's just I can't imagine, because the question is a daunting one, right? Again, I never served in, but I think for what it's worth, I think there are a lot of people trying to do a lot of good through programs, again, like Gary Sinise's or whatever foundation you donate to.
Folds of Honor, yep. Wounded Warriors is also a good one.
Yeah, the Wounded Warriors Project. I've seen a lot of commercials for those. Trying to think of another one, because there's so many out there. But the thing of it is, right, while all those charities are great, they don't resolve the eternal issue, right? What
Bunch of Band-Aids on bullet holes, really.
Oh yeah, and just like Phoenix Electro was saying about the VA, right? It's riddled with a lot of hierarchy ladders with people with power.
Barriers.
Barriers.
Yeah, lots of barriers.
Lots of barriers and lots of hierarchy, I would say.
Yeah.
Vet charities. We did mention a few vet charities, like the Gary Sinise one, Wounded Warrior Projects, and the one.
Yeah, Patty Vets charities. That's right.
Yeah, and also Zio Gaming was former military as well, so that's someone else I've talked to. I didn't know. He told me on a stream that he was on.
Nice.
But like you said, it's just Band-Aids on bullet holes, and not even the VA is where's it solved, because you hear these stories, right? You hear the stories about months and months, and some people are like, it's not worth it. I'd rather just waste away than wait for them to come, do
or
stuff.
Spend cash at a normal hospital.
Yeah, I do think that, while there's like the stuff like was it Social Security, whatever, for every American, I do think that if you have served. Not in any, like, I guess if you still served, even if you didn't see war, if you still served, and as long as you're the mindset for your country stuff, I do believe you kind of deserve the taken care of factor, but it's there's so much varied obstacles to all the stuff we have in our own country that it doesn't make sense.
Pretty much how the whole thing's built, buddy. So none of it makes sense to us. It's ridiculous.
It's like a very poorly built scaffold, and we're like, oh wow, it's still up. That's pretty nice. Hey, there's that nail sticking out. There's that puss that happens. Like, no, don't worry about it.
Don't worry about that nail.
I heard
it's a $40,000 nail. Don't worry about that nail.
I heard something creak. Is that okay? Just go the other way. We'll just kind of stay away from over there.
Turn over around that way. Nothing to see here.
That's the majority of it. Oh, no, that's all right. Don't worry about it. Just get home safely. Don't be on your phone when you're in the car. Come on.
What are
Come
you
on,
doing?
Penny.
What are you doing? Worse than a
Point and
drunk driver.
shame. Point and shame.
He rumbled and drove?
He rumbled the door. No, well, he will rumble if he hits another car. He's not paying attention to driving. He'll rumble. All right?
Driving. That's right.
Oh goodness. So what got you inspired or started in wanting to even do content creation in the first place? Because I mean, it's a time consumer to some degree. So why?
It is. It really is. I know that I'm not going to be the strong man that I am forever. And it may be a little while longer, but eventually my body's going to fail me. My abilities aren't going to be as dependable. And I'm trying to find something that I can do that lies within the realm of what I know.
Yeah.
And I don't know much. I'm not a smart guy. I'm not amazingly bright. I mean, I'm smart enough to know what's going on, but at the same time, I'm not even college educated. So there's that. But I saw an opportunity. What really happened was way back when I was young, eons and ages ago, YouTube had started, and my friends and I had been making Jackass style videos before even Jackass was a thing. We were shooting each other with paintball guns to the freaking nads and all that stupid shit that you do when you're young. And it was starting to get pretty fun, but then, we're all kids. So we all just kind of went our separate ways. We just left it and it died and disappeared into the ether. I can't even find the videos anymore. It's insane, but
jeez, they're
probably banned for whatever reason, because those commies, whatever they do. But I saw that the same opportunity was coming from a place that told me that I could speak freely about anything that I wanted, whether it was true or false, good, bad, up, down. And the people that were watching could officially decide whether they liked what I was saying or disliked what I was saying, and then they would either stay or go.
Right.
I personally love the hell out of video games, and I play them a lot. And I'm like, well, if I play them a lot, we'll stream that as well. Originally, it was to be like the chat and stuff I wasn't too concerned with and all that. I just wanted to get streaming. Sophomore John, Recon Rat, this guy here,
nice,
and Recon Tech were all super supportive. When I started out, I was BLM, Brian Lee Mallory. I'm the real BLM, and it was just a funny joke that I played upon the whole time I was from when I started watching up until this point. And they were constantly encouraging me, hey man, you're pretty funny when you talk in the chat. Why don't you do a show? It's not that hard. Just get something to stream. I didn't have a computer. I didn't have anything. Right. All I had was that old Xbox over there, an Xbox Series X, and myself. And I went about to looking. I paid $300 for this tower over here from a guy off Facebook. I paid $100 for that capture card over there, and then everything I have that's not that stuff, keyboard. The missus got me. She was kind enough to get me a mic, but everything else came from my work. They have this just big box of trash electronics, and you can write on a piece of paper and say, hey, I want to take that keyboard, that mouse, those two screens, those two stands. I want to take them home. And they're like, we don't got to pay to get rid of them. Take it. So even the camera, you get the old little crap camera over here too. This little piece of garbage.
Yeah.
And I started on that horrible view cam, but I slapped it all together. I took a self-made crash course in OBS, and how to attach that to Rumble.
Mhm.
And I just started, and I said, you know what? I'm not working towards money right now. I'm working towards meeting people, gaining viewers, having fun,
Yeah.
seeing who I can hang out with. And from there, it has grown exponentially. And besides that, I said I wasn't doing it for money, but the money just started coming, as you can see. Every upgrade I've ever done to this channel has been through my Rumble earnings, which has been far over $1,500. So, and that's in almost like a year. So that's not bad for supplemental, for just dicking around, really, and having a good time. And of course, I told my friends, you know, hey, I'm going to start streaming. If you want to be in the stream, come and be a voice of ridiculousness with me, and we'll have a good time. And that's where you get Blackburn and Ross Hole and Silver Elite Monocle, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
And Sacred Lotus. And they were my first to be on streams with me. And then I started meeting all you guys, and I've had Mike Mullis, EXP Bless, Pudge, Lumpy Potato. I've ran with all these guys, and it's just been such fun. And that's why I'm really doing it. It's fun. But at the same time, if I keep doing it, and it stays fun and it keeps growing the way it's been growing, because I never even got the the partnership. And I was sad for a day, you know. I knew I wouldn't get the first one. I was just under 100 followers. I just made it to 101. I put my thing in, and they're like, no. I'm like, yeah, I understand. I only got 100 followers, so. I was disappointed the second time because I had really been pushing hard, but you know, whatever, it happened, and I didn't become a part of it. But at the same time, my growth never stopped.
Yeah.
It's not like those people that made partners stole growth from me. So I just continued praising Rumble for giving me a place where I could speak freely, and continued to stream. And it's just been more and more fun, more and more engaging. And now I'm doing an interview with somebody on Rumble about it. It's been a pretty cool, strange trip.
I don't consider these interviews because, again, an interview is more like me ask you a question and then that's it. But it's sort of like you can ask me questions too. So like at that point, is it still an interview? And I don't see an interview because,
I just got handed a piece of meat. Sorry.
There you go. It's from a lovely lady, of course. It's always nice when you get handed meat from a lovely
Oh, Your Highness, she's a gem.
Yeah.
Could bring me a cigarette freaking stick, but
you could have
died.
A little more here, a little. But I don't. When I do these, I don't. I know people. I know some people have said interview, and I'm like, okay, that's fine, whatever. But I don't consider it so because a lot of content creators do that, right? They have someone on, they ask them questions, either big or small, or big people, like they go for bigger. For me, it's sort of like, for over a period of time, right, I consumed a lot of content, whether it be from, this or that or whatever. And after a period of time, I was like, I kept seeing content creators getting stuck in their circles. Of course, you're playing games, you're going to go gravitate toward gaming. If you talk about movies or politics, whatever, you talk about a certain section of it, you go gravitate to those spaces, right? And for me, it was like, I'm a nobody, and why don't content creators have somebody who's small on, right, or not a creator at all, right? Why aren't they talking to other people about whatever? And I was like, well,
it's like sit down.
Yeah, it's just having it's like having a conversation across the table, except it's a very long table. It's like I don't know where you're at, but it's probably like a 1,000 miles, whatever. But
do me a favor, Daramouthe. Would you pass me the salt, please?
Go on. I did think about that though, right? If because I am growing up, because I do both Rumble and YouTube, right? And so I'm kind of still growing for both ends. It's not like I'm super whatever. It's just, it's part of networking and having people on, and then having that turn into networking again, and just it's this feeding the cycle of person on, people behind them, one after another, and that sort of thing. Like, because I don't see content creators, or at least what's considered content creators, whatever field they're in, they're not talking to people who are on the ground floor. Yes, majority of people I've talked to are content creators. Okay, well that's the connection I have right now. But if somebody who is in the chat wants to come on, or if there's someone like I've talked to a few non-creators, or if there's somebody who sees my show and says, or deals with me and says, hey, I'd like to come on, they have the opportunity. Like there's no one, the only people I'm not going to talk to are like, debaters, argumentative and negative trolls, whatever that may be. I don't care about this stuff. What I do care about is that there's a place that someone could come, whoever they may be, or almost whoever they may be. Gotta put that stipulation in there, and they can sit on this sort of table. And we can have a conversation about whatever, because I just didn't see it. Again, content creators have these circles that they stick to. They gaming gravitates for gaming, politics. We can talk about anything. Yeah, I may not know everything, but we can talk about whatever, because and when someone asked me, like, what is your show about, whatever, so well, it's sort of a cross between whose line is it anyway, right? Because I can handle a show by myself pretty well. I tried to. And then the Craig Ferguson show, because he would have, of course, all of his people were celebrities. So I don't have celebrities. Well, maybe one or two, but those are just people in the mindset of he had celebrities, but he wouldn't. There would be every time he'd have a celebrity on, he'd tear up his cards about asking questions, just have a conversation with them. And I'm like, why can't we have that? Because you see, like, was it Dave Letterman would do like questions on a card or whatever, or that stuff. It feels like you can't with content creation or content creators. It felt like they weren't having conversations with people outside their field or outside their whatever. And I can understand trust, reliability, all that stuff, but I was like, I don't want to do that. I wanted to do something different. So I did like gaming and stuff for a while or whatever, and that was fine. But then when I started hitting the conversation part, guess what? It just blew up from there. March was sort of spotty, but once April came around of like this year, I had pretty much almost the whole of the month filled up, and it was like that. I did not think this would happen. Same with May. I'm still waiting on a few people, but it's showing that there's something there, right? Like being reached out to, whether the creator is big or small, whether the creator is a creator at all. There's something there of having discussion about whatever. It can be about whatever. Of course, yes, there are some words you can't say because I'm streaming to YouTube, but I give like the 98%. I will give you 98% of whatever you want to say, as long as you take the 2% stipulation. That's all I ask. That's all you could say whatever. You could say F you for the whole stream, and we can go from there. I don't care. I just don't want people feeling like when they come on, they have to watch themselves. I don't curse because it's sort of like you can make up whatever words you want, and that's it, right? Like you could just whatever. Yeah,
what the cuss? This is Bolsheviks.
Well, it's a Hornfinkel of a day. It's just gosh awful. But I mean, I've had slip up. So, I was trying to do like a Sean and Connery impression, and I ended up saying, I was trying to say sit, and I said another word. So it's like that didn't turn out well. But it's like when I have people on, I want them to still have that freedom, because again, I am streaming to YouTube. We all know YouTube's a deal, right? I'm not monetized, whatever. But I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, well, we can't say all this. I just say, no gamer words. You're free to say whatever else you want, no gamer words, and we're all good to go. And that's it. Like 98%, I would think people live with 98% every day.
Yeah. So does that mean I can tell you I'm a black lesbian female, or is that a gray area?
You are? You're so white.
Yes, I am. I've been for 2 years. The minute New York State told me I could be anything that popped into my happy little brain, I said, you know what? I'm a black lesbian female.
I think that kind of starts with parents telling their kids that, right? You can be whatever you want to be. And it was like, well, I guess we kind of.
Yeah, you can be a rocket man.
I'd like to. I heard that song by John Elton. I know I can be. No, Elton John. Sorry, Elton John.
Nobody's grounding their kids. And I don't mean like grounding them as in you're in trouble, you're stuck in your room. I mean like grounding them to reality. It's all just, you can be whatever, you can do whatever. I support you. My mom was like that. And I was like, Mom, when I was a kid, some of those times you should have said, no, shut the fuck up. That's stupid. Don't do that. No, it was always, no, go ahead. Like when I joined the carnival,
Yeah.
where were you, Mom? Come on. You should have told me on that freaking phone from Cherry Hill, New Jersey. No, you carry your ass back here right now.
I think
But now
there's
she's like, no, you want to do that? You can do
Yeah.
that. Oh, God.
I think there are some things that you kind of have to experience firsthand in order to understand the danger, right? Like touching a hot stove, it's hot. Don't touch it again. You've learned your
Joining
lesson.
the carnival.
Yeah, turning it. But
Man, was that dangerous.
would you like to play with knives? I'm not in the juggling group.
No,
But-
I made pizza. I was outside the whole circus tent thing.
Oh, so you weren't part of the carnival. You were just like on the outskirts, like that guy is like.
Yeah. So carnies, yeah, you'll get a couple showmen, but
Mhm.
for the most part, carnies are just workers that travel.
Yeah.
Normally they're, like they're wanted in some state, or I mean, I had breakfast with a guy that was on the top 10 FBI list at one point. He was a pretty cool character. Big heavy set dude with a leather freaking vest on and all this shit. But yeah, it's a dangerous place, man. Carnivals are not somewhere you want to hang out after the carnival has ended. The freaks come out at night, and some of them were freaking crazy. A lot of bad stuff going on around there. So I would not suggest letting your child ever experience the joy of being a carny. So
That's where you put your foot down and said, "Do you want to end up in the garbage bin like Mr. Daniel over there?"
yeah, you want to be in the trash like Mr. Steve? No. Okay.
Do you want to know how he ended up there in pieces? No? Well, good. But anyway, before we go any further, so I don't know if you've seen my other stuff, but I set some time at the top of the hour because I know content creators usually do like at the beginning and at the end or somewhere or whatever, but I do like every hour because it's sort of like a marker, like, oh, yeah, it's time to go or whatever. But usually it's just a marker for like we've done an hour, so like every hour, that sort of thing. But yeah, if you want, I've put all your links that you gave me down below. But if you want to promote yourself like the circus, you have the opportunity to do so. So go ahead, sir.
Well, you know where to find me, Scottish Viking Gaming. I'm not much for promoting myself too greatly because I think the content kind of speaks for itself. It's fun. It's laughable. It's a good time. Come join us.
Mhm.
We'll talk shit and fuck around and find out,
Ooh, that's hot. Ah, ah. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, when I'm trying to come up with descriptions and stuff, like you've seen with me trying to do like the hour thing, it's sort of difficult because it's not difficult, it's not possible, it's just difficult because it's like I remind people almost not every hour, but at a huge swath of time because I do have a full-time job. So I do try to remind them as much as possible, like, hey, this show is going, right? Sometimes there's a lot of people, sometimes there isn't, but the thing of it is, right, to come back later and watch it. And all that stuff. But anyway, I'm getting too far point. We'll get that after I have to promote myself. So we'll do that. I'll explain myself. Anyway,
All right.
ladies and gentlemen, you know where I stream. I stream to both YouTube and mobile at Daramouthe, of course. I have a Discord at Daramouthe, but it's mostly just for DMing. But I have a fan account on Twitter X at Veramouth. I also have an email, which you'll see down on the sign below. Hold on. I think again, like I said, the majority of May is pretty full. I'm still waiting on a few. I have asked Rec, so I
It's
haven't
pretty
heard.
awesome that you got the month freaking filled.
Well, I did ask Rec. I'm still waiting for him to get back, and there are a few others. So I'm gonna have to like tomorrow just be like, I don't want to harangue them, but I'm gonna have to like, guys, those weeks are gonna be coming up soon, so I'm gonna need because I have 2 days next week, and I have 4 days on the last week of May. Because I'm not doing anything from like the 24th to like the 27th or whatever. Hold on. Yeah, the 24th through the 27th because of Memorial Day weekend. So, but yeah, if you want the same opportunity like Mr. Viking here, or SVG as his crew calls him, just leave a comment at either side, or just go to any of those places to DM me at or email me or whatever, and say, hey, I'd like to be a part of it, and we can get started. Because I know a lot of people have said to me, like, I wouldn't know what to say. I've had those people. I'm like, look, I can carry the show if need be, but you just got to give me like 15% of yourself. Just gotta. You don't. I don't care if you don't have a camera. All you need is a mic. All you need to be respectful. All you need to be is no big gamer words, and that's it. 3 rules. I think 3 is pretty easy to follow. So.
Yeah.
But it's like the opportunity is there. I'm not, what's the term? I'm not discrepant. I'm not like
Discriminating.
right? I mean, the only description I will do is like the people want to come on and not have a conversation. They don't want to have a conversation about.
Why are you wearing a red hat? Are you MAGA? What the hell's wrong with you? You want to kill babies with me, right? Come on.
Mute. Or argumentative or people who just don't want to have a conversation. If you're not wanting to have a conversation, don't come on. Like, don't think you can't have a conversation. Like, if that's your thought, come on. But if you don't want to have a conversation, you just want to just be a ruiner, you can go elsewhere. Okay, I don't care about you. But at the end of the day, I do this because I saw something I didn't see elsewhere, and I'm proving that people want to talk about whatever. So it's not that difficult. I know a bunch of it's been about content creation, whatever, and that's just sort of the ordeal because of who I'm talking to. Not just you, but others. But the thing of it is, right, is that when you have people together to have just a free-flowing conversation, like, again, in, Craig Ferguson show or whatever, you begin to see that people have a lot to say if they want to. Some, again, either nervous or shy or whatever. But when you can get
nervous.
Yeah, when you can get past that point and have a free-flowing conversation, have fun with it, boom, people will just light up about whatever. And I've talked about so much stuff, it's insane. So, but anyway, you want that opportunity, leave a comment on either side or go to those 3 places. The door is open. All you got to do is walk through. So, but before I get back to the conversation, I got to do this thing that I know most people won't like, but it's part of their deal. So, yes, I got to do the thing you heard YouTubers say all the time. Like, subscribe, follow. Yeah, come on, dude. Yeah.
Hit the like button.
Yeah. The reason why I was hesitant to do that sort of thing is because I didn't want to be like everyone else, right? You want to find that difference. My reason I've begun to start doing it is because in order to have more different people on, you've got to have more people view you, and have more people view you. The people who are viewing you help you out in small, non-paying ways, right? Like, I've had people donate before, but that's not the point. The conversation for me is always a point. Everything else is a bonus. Always a bonus. And so, if you wouldn't mind,
man, that's why I play games. That's the fun.
Yeah.
And then everything in here is the bonus.
Yeah.
Just talking to so many random cool new people and having the most wild conversations about the most wild things. It has been tons of bonus. It has been bonus stacked on top of bonus, hiding bonus I didn't even know was there. So I do like it. The fact that the Rumble community works so well together. And at the same time, it's very guarded. Not to say that people are excluded, but when you come in, like you said, there's that 5% of people that you're just like, no.
Yeah.
It's obvious you don't belong here. And that's okay. There's homogenous groups for a reason. A lot of people like to be with their own. And I'm not just saying, skin color, because that's fucking stupid, but gamers, content creators, and political aspects. And I like that you are hammering out in different directions with everyone. And that's freaking awesome. And it shows that people are enjoying it very much. So I do like that.
Yeah, and I look, I don't know if I'll ever get big enough that people will just automatically say, hey, I'd like to come on. But that's going to be the aim, because while I'm gonna still trudge along and ask people to come on, when you get that auto feed, right? When you get that auto feed of people asking, "Can I come on? Come on?" And I have maybe like one or two, but I'm trying to build that credibility, right? Because that's the point.
Yep.
Is you know, again, I will say it's nice when I get the follows. It's nice when I get the likes. It's nice when I get the monthly subscriptions or the donos. That's all a bonus. Don't get me wrong; they're all nice. But
Or featured. That's always nice.
I don't think I've ever been featured, but I can build. I like with the partner program, right? I didn't get on it, but I saw it like at a certain point. I was like, well, it's sort of restrictive. You have to do this amount. It was just a lot for so little, you know. But for me, doing
Like
this,
monetarily, or do you mean like?
well,
it's
yeah,
a lot?
you had to do like, what was it 5 days a week, 2 hours
Yep, 2
per
hours a
day,
day.
and you had to do it for 30 days. And I'm like, yeah, it's a lot of just like, I just want this to be free flowing. Sometimes I don't go 2 hours, so I just want this to be free flowing enough that there's enough, less restriction, more freedom, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Because they wanted you to like do 2 hours on Rumble, but I streamed to both YouTube and Rumble. I'm like, I mean, they kind of are paying for it, but I'm putting more time into it. It's a lot of this or whatever. So,
Yeah.
but yes, if you wouldn't mind, if you mind leaving a like, maybe following, subscribing, whatever you want to do. I'll say following because subscribe means something different on Rumble. It means like the monthly sub, or leaving a comment, right? Any of those three doesn't matter. By you helping
Tickle
me,
that algorithm, guys.
yeah, by you helping me out, more people can see me, and more people that see me, more people can be on. See how that feeds itself, right? More people see, more people can be on, and so forth and so on. I mean, I'll still bring people back on. The SVG is always welcome back on. It's
Woo.
just, yeah, it's just a mixture of new and old, and also because again, Rumble is to millions, YouTube is to billions. Imagine reaching across all different areas, right? We can disagree, we can have our moments of just like, yeah, I don't agree with that or whatever, and we can have a discussion on it, a conversation, if you will. But imagine reaching across all platitudes that, I don't speak our languages, unfortunately, but at least within reasonable speaking distance, that all these different people and all these different whatever, they come on and we have a discussion about whatever, and you see it and it grows and continues. One person leads to another after another. I've always said if I had 1 million people, right, just 1 million people, right, that would be content for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
imagine 365. I don't count the weekends because maybe if I got real busy I would, or of course making enough that maybe I would, but I wouldn't count the weekends right now. I usually just save for special occasions if a person can't do a weekday. But imagine you have 1 million people, right? Hey Putin, imagine you have 1 million people, right? And you're going, say, like 365 days a year. You're done. You just have content till you're dead.
That's why I love games. I have content forever.
Yeah, well, I mean, but it's sort of like I have Steam, and Steam's bad for me because like I have like around 200 games. I'm like, oh,
What do I play?
what do I play? And I can't play very much. Well, I think it's not that I can't play. It's just that I find after a while I'm more disinterested in playing. I mean, I wouldn't mind like playing party animals with someone else, whatever. But the thing of getting into this, having conversation with others, I am more and more and more interested in hearing about whatever silliness comes out of your mouth. I'm more interested in hearing your perspective on what you see of the vets, the politics, or whatever. We don't have to go too deep into any of it. We can just hear the skim of it, right? Or you can hear about your small stories, and because Patty gave stories about how he was, allergic to the Febreze when he was in the army, and he had to keep telling him, like, don't do that, because I'm allergic. And you have all this stuff, like, those things are saved that people can come along the way and they can see you and a glimpse. It's not your whole life story, right? Like, you don't have to give me your whole life story. That's okay. But they see a glimpse of you, right? They see a glimpse of you. And of course, your links and stuff are in there. And while they're there, they can go see you through that. It's a domino effect, right? They see you, they see a conversation of you, talk about whatever. They see the openness you have, right? Maybe you'll do your boundaries because of the whole internet online thing, but at the end of the day, you have come from one point to a next, and then like, yeah, I saw you in this conversation about whatever. What do you really think about more beyond that? And you just like you go into that, and like you say with yours, you do that. But this isn't gaming. We're not gaming. We're just sitting down conversing with each other, and you get to see. It almost feels like at a certain point it could be like a flowingness of consciousness of just chatting, because again, we have a lot of people argue their sides, drama or whatever. You have the politics, the Republican, Democrat, all
Yeah, even
useless.
got attacked on Twitter like 2 days ago. Shit's crazy.
Yeah. But where's the point where we just sit down and have a conversation of not attacking, not bemoaning, we can complain about stuff, but we're like, well, what would you think would be the best result for the VA, or what would you think be the best result for from your own perspective, right? Of what the politics, whatever. Oh, look, Putin. There you go. Look at
I
that.
think I want to say that the most that you can gain from anything would be knowledge. The more you know, the more you can fix. Like, for the most part, I find it hard to have conversations because I'm always so quiet. And the only reason I'm quiet is because a long time ago, someone said to me, if you enter a room with 5 other people and keep your mouth shut, you're going to leave knowing what they know and what you know. And they're going to leave only knowing what they were talking about. So that's why my conversation skills are crap, but my listening skills are amazing. Women love me.
Oh yeah. Oh wow, you're so yay.
No, really, my wife will say something and I'll forget 10 seconds later, honestly.
I think before still in real life I'm not as outgoing as I am on here because of course there's a distance thing, but it's sort of that comfortability, right? When you get used to somebody, you sort of can just get comfortable saying and not get, because you say a joke and all the discomfort and all that stuff. So right now it's a lot of insensitivity about stuff of like, oh, you can't say this, whatever. It's like, it's just, I like dude's shirt, embrace the suck. Oh yeah, there you go. Embrace the
Econ rap, baby.
That's right.
One of the first guys I started watching when I started watching Rumble.
Yeah, no, this is a fun one. Putin was on a long time ago, and he told me about the blowing up the road. That was funny. He never got caught too. He never got caught.
With a tree. Yeah. But that was with my army guys.
That was
an accident.
That's not a. They'd forgive you. It's like, oh, it's army people. All right, well, whatever.
Well, no, we destroyed the whole gun doing it, so it was pretty big actually.
Then it'd be more likely your sergeant or whatever would come up to you and say, "You guys, it's gonna have to be break time, solitary confinement."
No, our chief came up and said, "Ferguson, did you leave your screwdriver in the end of the barrel?" Everybody, keep your fucking mouth shut. That's what happened to us.
I forget everything that happened yesterday. What happened?
I have no clue why that tree with the endangered species woodpeckers just blew up, 100 meters in front of us.
There was an endangered species? I thought there were plentiful.
It was the only tree within like 80 trees that had the stupid freaking white rings on them, and that thing just exploded. The round had been thrown off course by the fact that Ferguson had left his damn screwdriver in the end of the muzzle because he was chipping away at carbon. And they were like, fire mission. And he's like, oh, and runs back, loads the canister, and I freaking close the breech. None of us even knew. And then you hear boom. And everybody in the gun line's like, holy shit. And then we look down at the base of the tree are these 2 white rings, which on Fort Bragg, that signifies that there's endangered woodpeckers living in there. And you can't get near the tree. And we blew that fucker to pieces. It was amazing. It was the best thing I ever saw.
Like,
of course, my chief was like, Ferguson, where's your screwdriver? Oh, shit. Everybody shut up. Nobody say a thing. Gunny! Oh, I don't know, man. That was crazy, right? So what they put it down as, since the screwdriver had bounced around a little and broke some thread off in the end of the barrel, they had come to the conclusion that the barrel thread is what threw the had dislodged as the round was shot and threw it off course. But gun number 2, we all knew. Ferguson's screwdriver. Dumbass.
It's like, at some point someone was like, I probably could have made it a little bigger explosion right there. Just someone had to say, it's like, it could have been a bit bigger.
Yeah, it could have been bigger. I mean, we could have had. I mean, it was a. I don't think it could have been bigger because we used the HE round, so it was pretty damn big. High explosive rounds will freaking go up.
Yeah, no joke for that, but yeah, it's sort of but yeah, I understand people who are nervous or whatever, but I think some I've had haven't shown their face, they had their voice, but I think if you can be someone like myself who can just make whatever up in their head and just kind of, what do you think about this, whatever, or find something within something you converse with, right? And you just hit on that nugget and you go down this tunnel, right? Like, you ever see that meme where there's that guy who keeps digging, but he stops before he hits that wall of diamonds, and there's another guy above him going, and it's just like, yeah, that's me up there. Diamonds, even though they're pretty much worthless other than their use for like blades and stuff, but that's a different story. Yeah, I understand that. For me, look, I probably am not the best listener because I can mishear things or whatever, but I do think that I do think there's a point we have to get past, and it just if you can find fun out of it, it will work. If you can find fun in it, it will work. And I've had fun with all sorts of people. A few people felt, they're probably reactors, people who just react to the stuff, and then just like the conversation is kind of difficult. But at the end of the day, majority.
That reminds me, I gotta watch Silver Fox's interview. That dude's a character. I bet that was fun as hell last night.
It was. We talked about The Office. I told him a little bit about Firefly, the TV series.
Great freaking series.
And the movie, yeah, me too. It was sad they only did one series, but that was Fox,
Mm-hmm. And then everybody freaking argued and complained about it, so they're like, "Oh, we'll make a movie."
Yeah, it fans got what they wanted.
Yeah, an ending of sorts.
Oh,
but I won't spoil it.
No, yeah, I've already seen it. This off topic, but what are you guys's? I think guys's is spelled. How would you spell guises in the first place, right? Like, I don't think it's like, because it seems like guys is like disguises or
GUY_S maybe guys.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'd say you.
I think it's a big load of crap, honestly.
Well,
I think it's a reason to keep people distracted from the horrible that's going on around the entire world. Because every time something horrible happens, that's the exact moment they're like, "We've got this new video of aliens."
Yeah.
And you're just like, "Okay, well, what about that dude doing that thing over there?" No. Aliens, bro.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
Like, come on.
My personal thing is human beings have enough trouble trying to figure out what created the world they're in and all this stuff. Like Big Bang, you can do God or some divinity thing, or simulation theory, or this or that, or whatever. There's so many different things about what created this, why we're here, and all this stuff, and yet the answer just varies. It's like, well, what is the creation of the universe? Is the universe real? Is it all? It's just, and then science.
Am I in the Matrix?
Yeah, science itself isn't even, after all the C-19 stuff, science itself, it can't be really trustworthy because are these people more inspired by getting money from grants, whatever, or are they wanting to do science for truth? So you have this sort of feels like, I can't discount what someone saw or, those weird videos or stuff. But I mean, it's sort of like the stuff that's shown is sort of like shaky and fuzzy and all this other stuff.
And
yeah.
Slowest freaking frame rate you've ever seen. And come on.
And what is dramatized, and what, I mean, nowadays with the whole language learning, the machine learning, all this stuff coming out, what is going to be real? Because just think of Unreal Engine 5, right? If you've ever seen like the demo stuff they showed, like when they brought it out, someone could make a scene, make it look real enough, and you would not be able to tell the difference unless they told you, unless you had some sort of expert that like CGI.
You ever seen the movie Wag the Dog?
I've never even heard of it.
No? Oh, it's an amazing movie. I believe Dustin Hoffman's in it. It's about a guy who makes the United States believe that there's a war going on overseas by just doing simple filmography. Just he makes little scenes that seem so real. And they put it in the news, and you can't tell, is it news? Is it real? Is it fake? And everybody goes to war over the fact that he's just making scenes for the government. Yeah. It is a crazy, crazy movie. Write that down. Wag the Dog.
Wag the Dog.
Watch it. It's a very good movie. It gets you really thinking. Like how many times have you listened to one of Vladimir Zelensky's speeches?
None.
Okay. How many times have you listened to one of Putin's speeches?
I think the only time I ever listened to Putin was the Tucker's thing.
Carlson. Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you and I and pretty much everyone else is on the same page. Nobody listens to anything that's going on over there. We just take in what we're told over here.
Yep.
And how can we really know what's the truth and what's not the truth? We're not there watching it. So am I saying there's no war going on? It's all a lie? No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that there's a lot of ways to portray things. And you really have to dive deep to understand if you're on the right side or the wrong side, or if there is even one, if there's just a lesser of two evils kind of thing. But
it because then again, it's sort of like with the internet, right? Like when you can deep fake, and if you're good at it, right? If you can deep fake, Photoshop, all this stuff, and make it look seamless together or whatever, and a regular person like myself can't tell the difference, but you have some like I was showing Silver Fox yesterday of the Sora, right? The Sora AI thing that OpenAI was. It's not open to the public, but they were showing off. When that thing gets big enough, how are you going to tell? I mean, you can't tell. Really, you can't tell now. But how are you going to tell even further what's real or not when it gets better, right?
Yeah.
I will admit I sometimes use AI for helping in, getting the wording right for descriptions, whatever. So sometimes
tried that a couple times, and then I got to the point where descriptions got to be too much, and I just made one solid one.
I use a program called Claude.ai. It has a free to pay version. And I asked him, like, does this sentence, he's like, I like Silver Fox's Gaming. I'll admit, Silver Fox's Gaming description, I did a few changes, but majority of it was I ran my original through it. I asked, okay, does this look good? What can make it? Does it need improvement or whatever? And then he said, this, just a few things, and that was it. And I try to learn from it, and then I try to take it and I try to go from there.
Yeah, get more eye pop, more engagement and whatnot.
Yeah, because I'm trying to attract people. Yeah, because I'm trying to attract people to come stop by and watch either live or the replay, whatever. But it's a helping tool rather than just do all my work tool. Now, Opus.pro, which I use for making the shorts, right? I think you'll see what I'm showing him. But it's also done with AI's help as well. The AI, you put your stream in, you have to have time credits. If you have enough credits, you put in the stream that's within that time credit, and then you just, my camera's a little blurry, hold on a second. There we go. And then the AI takes over and it does its job. And yeah, you can still go through, edit some words, make sure they're correct, whatever. But basically, it's doing the heavy lifting. You're just doing the last 10% of what needs to be done, making sure everything's in order or making sure it sounds right or whatever. Proofread. You're doing the proofreading to what you think is best, right? Not whatever. But while I get the while I get the arguments against or whatever, the image generating, the language model, and all this stuff, at the end of the day, your arguments are just a total waste because the genie is out of the bottle, right? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
the
Pretty
what
much.
is the Greek version of that? The not the genie, but it's P starts with P. Paradox, is it paradox box? No, Pandora's box.
Pandora's box has been opened. Yeah.
Pandora's box has been opened, and
Thank you, honey.
aw,
See, she remembered.
and she didn't yell at you too. Why'd you do that? And we talk about okay, I see what he's asking the question. So he's asking the question involved in that. How do you guys feel about buying entertainment products that you thought were written by humans but were actually written by AI? And then he says, we talk about it a lot in the TTRP. I don't know what TTRPG. I know RPG, but what's the TT stand for? Community, because a lot of creators are using AI art, of course, but we're finding out the bulk of writing is being done with AI. I'll let you start on your end with that.
All right. So I started playing Power World when it first came out, and I loved it. I had a great time learning about all the new pals that they had in the game, or whatever you want to call them. And it was only later on that I found out that a huge portion of those things were made by AI, and I didn't give a crap. It didn't affect. I didn't want my money back because I'm being gypped. I'm not getting somebody's hard work. I got somebody's work. The work was fun. They did what they had to do to sell me a product that was worth playing. And if it took AI to do that as well, I mean, it's like telling a carpenter, you can use your saw and you can use your chisel, but you can't use that hammer because that hammer, that's cheating. But it's just a tool. Yeah, but I don't feel like you're working hard enough. Use your fist, Yeah. So why would you not use these tools? I get it that Pandora's box has been opened. We're all going to be a singularity. Someday we're going to be hive mind robots. Great. If I can live forever in hive mind robot, so be it. I'll do it. Why not?
We kind of are with social media, though.
What's that?
We kind of are with social media, though, the hive mind robot sort of thing, like Twitter X or any other social media platform. We're already a hive mind connectedness. It's just a few steps away because the connected is through our phone, not through our fingers or Neuralink. Neuralink is
Neuralink.
Yeah.
That was the best meme ever. They kicked me off because they thought I was a bot, and Elon Musk put me back on because I am. Yeah. So, I mean, if you're able to create something where your thought processes become something seen on a screen, that's just another tool being made. It's like trying to stop the dude from creating the hammer. It's like trying to stop dude from creating the wheel. Eventually it's gonna be so integrated into your life, like the cell phones, that you're never really gonna think back on it and go, oh man, we shouldn't have done that. Like, I don't think anyone should have a cell phone, but here it is right here next to me at all times because I understand the power of the tool, Do I like that each one of my kids has one? I didn't give it to them, but do I like that they have one? No and yes. I can get a hold of them. I can talk to them anytime during the day. Also, they can watch shit that I don't want them to see. So, double-edged sword, as in most tools, even through the guns, double-edged sword, protect, destroy. Same thing with a fucking hammer. Build, destroy. They're all just tools. It's all in how you use them and what you use them for.
Yeah, and like I would have gone with the difference between a handsaw and a circular saw because battery powered, because that's like cheating, right? Like, but then again, I called him out. He's getting his tools. There you go. He got his tools. Look at him. He's a big man now.
I can take this.
Yeah.
And I can make a beautiful table with it. Or I'd cut a fucking hole in that wall over there.
Yeah.
Either way, Sucker's just a tool.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's a
Put
funny
it
thing.
down, it won't do anything. Just like AI, if you don't prompt AI, what can AI do?
Yeah.
Nothing. It sits there
Yeah.
doing nothing.
Yeah. If you don't do it, someone else is gonna take. I know that's kind of a stupid excuse, but if you don't do it, someone else. Again,
Exactly.
I've compared it to like the shiny toy, right? Like, there's this shiny object, and you can't beat human curiosity, right? And the dopamine hit, right? The dopamine hit,
Yep.
human curiosity, combine those two. You see it with cell phones, you see it with smartphones, right? Where like Candy Crush was a big thing back in the day. It probably still is, but it would feed that dopamine hit. Hey, guess what? I'm creating this art piece. Well, you're not really an artist, but I type stuff in and it gets close to what I want. I mean, you can keep revising it close enough, but it's how if people are going to argue against the tool there is, because I know they'll be like it's soulless, it's whatever. But then again, it's like how far back do you have to go before it's not soulless, right? Do you have to go back to where you're making your own pigment? Do you have to go back to where
Right.
do you have to go back to making your own writing utensils? Do you have to go back to
Do I
making
got
your
to
own
crush
paper?
berries and freaking break out a loom to make myself a freaking canvas?
How far do you go back before it's not soulless, right? I get the art and soulless factor, but again, they use the tools of their time to make that.
Yeah.
What are the people now using? Oh, digital. Well, if you're using anything digital, doesn't that mean you need to stop using digital and go? But it's a tool. But so is the AI stuff. No, that's not a tool. That's soulless. You have already defeated your argument by calling something that is a tool or is considered a tool or a toy to some. And the decades, eras, they're all different. They all probably said the same thing within their time, like the printing press, right? The Gutenberg printing press.
Yep.
Don't you think?
Should that be what we're using to create your D&D tale, the Gutenberg?
Yeah.
Should we be writing it with pieces of charcoal that I pulled out of my fire?
Yeah.
It's because I'm seeing it's tabletop games.
Yeah, the
TTRPG.
TT. Yeah.
So do you not like the story that you played? Then I could understand where you're like, oh, I played 9 stories in a row. They all sucked. And you find out they're AI. Then you have a basis for, oh, that sucked. But if you're running a campaign and no one ever told you it was AI and you finish that campaign, you're like, man, that was freaking awesome. And then someone goes, oh, yeah, I popped that out of AI. I mean, would you be mad? Or would you still enjoy the time that you had playing the game?
Yeah, it's I just had a thought too, but no, Patty had a point of, and I generally think the same thing, guys. If you use the tools available to you, make a product, people don't like it, they won't buy it. I get why some people say it's soulless or whatever, but I have to imagine if I go back to the time of the Gutenberg press, right? And people were like the monks, they were scribing on pieces of paper day in, day out. The Gutenberg press cut that time in half, right? Because you would just put the words, press it down, ink, all that stuff. Did you not think they said the same thing too? Part of it was to keep the church from trying to hold power, so it just took power away. All right, and he says, but I've ran that get extremely booty when someone says that looks like AI stuff. Understandably so. My thing is, like, as you've stated, it is a tool. Can the tool go overboard? Yes, but human beings create double-edged swords almost every day. Like you just stated, right? The gun, the saw, whatever. Fire. Fire, its most basic forms. You can smelt with it, you can make weapons from it or whatever. But you can also use it to burn. The most basic of humanity can be used to destroy buildings, can be used to blow things up or whatever.
I've seen saws that are made from water. I mean, you can use any element to do both ends of the spectrum.
Yeah. Human beings create their own double edges. Why? Because there's always a plus. There's always a duality to what we do. It's not going to go anywhere. Sometimes we don't know it yet until that it shows itself, or it's there and we kind of ignore it a bit, but it's like, So I get the conversations on both sides, but I'm like, there are people who kind of push saying, I'm an artist because I do this. Like, well, don't be so bossy whatever on that remark. Just say, look, I'm using this thing that I can't draw or whatever, but hey, I just put in some words. I kind of go over, make, detail it, get
If
it
you made it
better.
all by hand, charge more for it.
Yeah, there you go.
The people that appreciate that handmade over AI generated will pay for it.
Yeah, they'll pay you money. I mean, that's the best for me, for hand drawing or whatever, for artists right now. This is the best time, right? It's like, not AI art guy. Come over here. I'll charge you a little bit more, but it'll be made by a human, and so you can probably get into scam by that. But at the end of the day, it's a tool. It's always is. Computers are a tool. Yeah, it's always a tool. We create tools. They have a double-edged sword. I'm sorry to tell you, nothing in life is a one-way ordeal. You could say good or bad is a one-way ordeal, but tools we create are not a one-way ordeal. Stuff like the electric cars, right? Oh, wow, that's nice. They're made with slave labor because the stuff they get it from is wherever. Yeah, yeah. So there's no free from that or whatever. But again, so your phones.
Yep.
So, and people think Android is better. Well, guess what? They were made by people who were paid by pennies in China. Sucker. So it's just when you one of the big rules in life is to learn that pointing out hypocrisy changes nothing. I mean, you can have a lot of people point it out, whatever, but it's about in here that has to change. And this, you could point out hypocrisy all day long, but if this isn't changing here, then it's not worth anything.
Yeah.
It's the it's like because again, I as a content creator, I've seen a lot of the drama stuff, right? I still see drama stuff, and I'm like, you have to learn to see the signs to not get pulled into it. I've made the mistake of getting pulled into it to a point, and then I'm like, I'm done. Right? You just walk away, because I've seen too many other content creators. They get sucked into this swivel of stuff, and they don't just be great. They don't go back to creating. They just go get stuck in, because sometimes drama create clicks and likes to your stuff, right? Like views or whatever. I don't care. My life is short. I'm wasting time on all this Bolshevik. I said Bolshevik.
Yep, Bolsheviks.
Bolsheviks. All this Bolshevik stuff that we do is pointless. We'll argue over the stupidest stuff, and yet we forget we're a dust mite on a blue marble going around a golden sun and a nigh infinite universe. And the worst thing in the world is complaining about our government on taxes, and yet we do nothing to change it. We'll vote for it, but then we find out, well, the vote didn't work. Oh, we'll try somebody else. Power is an answer, but it's also not the answer.
No,
the oddity of humanity. The oddity of humanity. I don't know.
I would love to see even an idea of a world. Well, there is an idea of a world that revolves around non-monetary systems, but I don't think the world of Star Trek is really going to be happening anytime soon.
No, because
but I would love to see a perspective of a system built on not just a meritocracy, but also I don't want to say status. That's the wrong word. Ability to status is more of a like you
see it, Patty.
Like I got torn up the other day on what was it, Twitter, by some kid, some list or something like that. And I was just so confused as to how I even ended up in any of that, because I don't consider myself anything, especially on Rumble. I'm just a small fish. So to be able to, and I feel like all of that was just fishing for clicks and money, trying to gain the system a little bit of power. Like you said, they're going for that little bit of squeeze of the juice, you know?
Yeah.
And I would love to see a system of life where we like capitalism benefits all, but it benefits some more than others.
Yeah.
I'd love to see a system that benefited all without being at the disparage of others.
You
Um,
won't have that.
I won't, but I would love to see a model of it. I tell you what.
Well, because that kind of goes with what some people try to describe for communism, right? You know, the share of equal whatever for all. The issue of it is, though, is you won't have that because there'll always be someone poorer than you, and there'll always be someone
Yep.
richer than you. There'll always be someone who is smarter than you in some aspects, and there'll always be someone dumber than you. Again, there is that human duality where no one is perfect and everyone has a weird stick in this play to play. You're not gonna. There's no perfect society, no utopia. I'm sorry to tell you, humanity is not built.
Oh,
Is
no,
not.
there will never be one.
There will never be a utopia. I understand like the value of things, right? But the thing at the end of the day is that we create the value.
Yeah.
Just think of Bitcoin, right? What's backing Bitcoin? What is Bitcoin, right? It's just a digital mark on a blockchain somewhere on the internet. Humans are well. It's
A
not just
store of value. That's really all it is. It's a store of value. Just like the dollar is a store of value.
human. Well, to a degree, but that can be anyone. That can be everyone, but not everyone is that. See how that ridiculous that is? Everyone can
Yeah.
be that, but not everyone is that. That's how crazy we are. But yeah, the thing of that remark is that I've had talks with other people. I've said like our value is a belief because the dollar, right? They'll say it used to be backed by the gold, now it's backed by a promise. It doesn't matter if it's backed by gold or money; it has no value to begin with anyway, because gold value is what we give it, right?
Yep.
It has uses. Don't get me wrong; it has uses in computers and whatnot, but its value is in what we give it. If we didn't give it any value, if we didn't see any value in gold, it'd just be another shiny rock that someone would just pick up and say, "Oh, look at this shiny rock. It looks so yellow-like and stuff." And then we'd probably put it back down and go on our way.
It reminds me of diamonds, really.
Well,
'Cause diamonds were so sought after, and then you find out in Africa they're picking them up off the freaking ground like just everyday rocks, and diamonds lose value greatly. But then somebody like Zales comes along and gives a certain value structure to that diamond, i.e., you got to get her that perfect engagement ring,
yeah,
and it's got to be a diamond.
yeah.
And then it takes that blood diamond that was worthless garbage and gives it new value based on just our ideas, just our thoughts.
Yeah, but diamonds can be made in a lab too, because all diamond need is carbon, high pressure, high heat. Boom. There are people who turn their dead relatives into diamonds.
Shit.
That's there are some gems rare.
How much am I worth, really?
Exactly.
Garrett?
But value, we establish value, right? If I've said this in the past with others, 75%. If you took 75% of the US, right? If you took 75% of the US and they stopped believing that the dollar had any value whatsoever, guess what? Your economy just
Crashes. Yep.
it crashes because the value of belief, the belief in the value is gone. You pull the rug out, baby, you will see you don't worry about the Stone Age. You will see you won't see a zombie, but you'll see something close. Yeah. But I gotta use the restroom real quick. So if you would just hold down the fort, I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Keep him company, Steve. Keep him on.
What's up, all you happy campers out there? I hope you're having a great time on the Daramouthe. I can't call it an interview. The chat that we're having today. It's a good time. We love your questions out there. Rather use diamonds on tools, so diamond tip saws and stuff. Yeah, see? Great value in diamonds for whatever purpose that you find great value in it for. If someone handed me a diamond and said, "Oh, that's a diamond," it wouldn't make no never mind to me. I don't know anybody that would buy it. I don't know where I could sell it. I'd probably just trade it for something because it has no real value to me. Whereas the next person can be like, "Oh man, I know how to make rings. That would be beautiful in my ring." And they can give it value. And maybe I'll get something that I value from it. Maybe a week's supply of food for that diamond. that's where my value lies. I like eating for a week. That rock, I can't eat it, but to somebody it has value. To me, it has none. In the UK, we call the restroom the bog, huh? Oh, it's not the loo anymore? Oh. From henceforth, all the toilets will be known as John's. Come on, what movie, guys? I hope you're having a good time out there, guys. Don't forget to hit like and follow. If you haven't been following Daramouthe, you really need to. Great conversations, great guests coming on. You can't miss it. You got to keep up with it. Hey, you're back.
I'm going to try to. Yeah, when nature calls, you don't ignore.
I don't want to damage my prostate and possibly not get an erection.
We won't talk about the hair. No, yeah, it's me too. I hope this continues. I still got to contact some people to see if they'll be coming on. Yeah, get to bed, Steve. Get to bed. But yeah, I should. I still have to contact some people, see if they're coming on, because I have one other sort of big person from the Rumble side. I really want to spread out to. I have had people from like Twitch and stuff on, but some may not come back because of certain issues with what they have with Rumble. So we'll see.
I know it's strange how many people just like streamed on Rumble and then just poof, vanished.
Well, I gotta give them credence because part of it was the payout. Part of it was the payout.
Yeah, I did have quite a problem with the payout for the first like 9 months.
They have gotten a bit better because I got a payout and I wasn't really expecting it. Steve. Yeah, don't. They probably already do. They won't go that far. But Rumble, I wasn't expecting my payout, but I got it. And so I will give credence where it is. I do believe they're getting better, but at the same time, I've stated this in the past and I'll state it again. When Rumble does well, I will congratulate. But when Rumble does wrong, or at least wrong in the sense like to create a payout and all this other stuff, I will admonish. Because a platform should not have favoritism. It should not have the kiss up, the teacher's pet, whatever. It should not have any of that at all. Because you've seen that on other platforms. You can do it on Twitch. You can do it on Kick. You can do it on YouTube. All these other platforms, there is somebody there who has the teacher pet sort of mentality. With Rumble, I don't care. I will call them out when it needs to be called. I did it many times with the content creator payout. It's getting a bit better. Is it perfect? No. Rumble Studios. When I had the issues with it yesterday, I put in the little support ticket because YouTube. I couldn't stream YouTube, but the video is over there, and I'll call them out. I've had again. There are things Rumble should not get away with. The creator payout was a big one because that messes with people's pay who's earned through the platform that they've allowed. Should not be gotten away with. I will call. I wouldn't say I would call it favoritism because I can't rate minds, right? But Rumble should not have any form of favoritism whatsoever. You have contracts with other people. Okay, fine. You have to respect those contracts.
Well, I'd like to think that if they're a smart platform, they're going to, I wouldn't say choose favoritism, but they are going to boost the people that bring more people in. And that, as a platform, that's a smart move.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I've seen Rumble put on people that no one's even heard of. And they don't, I've never seen that on YouTube or Twitch or any of those.
It's too big.
Yeah. The pool is way too vast. I'm hoping the pool gets vast at Rumble as well. And then, but the beauty, like I said before, the beauty of Rumble is the free speech allows people to understand who you are. And then they can decide, well, I want to listen to this guy and what he's saying, or I don't want to listen to this guy and what he's saying. And you move on. Whereas on YouTube, I'd never get the chance to see me on YouTube because of the way I talk. I'd never be allowed to see myself to even gauge whether I want to watch or not. So that's why I appreciate Rumble a lot. It allows dumbasses to be dumbasses and fun people to stay fun.
Yeah, I agree with that. It'll just be like that until it gets, because right now part of it is the recommendation engine. They're just testing it, so they don't have it. It will get better over time, but that's the thing that they kind of need, because there's still a lot of people who have complaint of it being too political. And I can agree, because you go on the front page, I can go to the front page right now, I can count a lot of people that are, or they're,
Politics shows.
yeah, or their battle board, right? Their leaderboard, right? How many of those are about politics? So when the recommendation gets better, when it gets more use, because I know, and of course, the short stuff is why I post shorts, whether or not the recommendation engine is there or not. I will post them because, one, I want to have, I try to keep all my stuff on both platforms. No hidden agenda, whatever. If I'm not paid for exclusivity, I'm not going to act exclusive.
Yep.
But the recommendation engine is something that's kind of needed, because people make pre-recorded videos, and I know a lot of people say, well, it should be more for live stream, whatever. I'm like, but you don't understand. YouTube is king right now because it can do all three perfectly. No, but it can do all three. That's what others are going to have to compete on, right? You can have Twitch, that's fine, they compete on one section only, but to be the king of platforms, other than having Google backing, right? YouTube's Google backing. Other than that, you kind of need to be able to do a bit of all three, because that's what's there now, right? Like, I know that's kind of...
I'm not going to find a live stream on how to fix my brakes on my Honda Accord 98, so it's good to have those videos that are there beforehand, and not something you got to wait to watch live.
And that's where that recommendation engine, once it's at full power, will help bring either the pre-recorded videos, live streams, or shorts, or shorter content, whatever, because it needs to be. They need to have more. I understand it was kind of built on the politics, because that's what helped got it up there. But when you want to have more people on, you kind of have to have an equilibrium of other stuff too, because people will still use it as an excuse. Well, they'll find any excuse.
I think that's why Rick went so hard on the let's get the gaming up there as well, because he saw an opportunity where it's not just politics. People are doing other stuff. And now I feel like the politics is still a big chunk, but gaming has really caught up to where the politics is. And then just under that is your other miscellaneous stuff. And Rumble just keeps growing like crazy. The more people I tell, the less I hear what's Rumble. Eventually, like everyone at work, like I tell people the first time, hey, I stream on Rumble, and they're just like, what's Rumble? What's stream? What are you talking about? Now it's, hey man, you streaming on Rumble on Monday for Heavy Metal Monday? I want to see that game that you were playing. I'd like to, like, that's what I'm getting at work now. It's so over the course of a year, I've been able to convince half the people I work with that YouTube's full of commies and they need to carry their ass over where they can hear the truth and not have it, fed to them with a spoon, what could be or could not be the truth.
Well, even on a so-called free speech platform, it still can be like that, because people have a variation of what the truth is. Different perspectives lead to different results, right? And
that's why I say you should always verify everything.
Verify everything. Even then, it's still a cautionary tale, because, like statistics, right? Who takes statistics? Human beings, right? People who, whatever. Who's reading the statistics? Human beings. So wait, wouldn't there be a bias of sorts on the other end of the statistics? On both ends for statistics? Yes, there would.
Yep.
They don't say cognitive dissonance and confirmation bias don't affect us for nothing. That's, everyone has that. Everyone. Don't fall asleep with me. We're almost there.
I won't.
But yeah, it's just, I will continue. I bought stock in Rumble. I see the possibility of its future. Again, adding the Rumble, Rumble Studios and the Rumble Cloud, they're helping it. They're creating that synergy. Like how Apple has its own synergy, right? It feeds into its ecosystem. Rumble's creating its own ecosystem. It's just, it doesn't have the resources like YouTube has, because YouTube has Google, which has the world at this point.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
So
ABC owns it all.
Google's just one big web all over the world, and who knows. But anyway,
Yep.
it is again, sir, the top of the hour, and so of course I do that for every hour because it's just a marking of. Plus, people like, I can repeat myself again. All right, come on down, come on.
Yeah.
I'm over here. Look at that, yeah. But
Well, this might be my last top of the hour because I've got dinner and stuff waiting. But
yeah, we'll definitely end
is this that time? Is this that time?
We'll end it after we promote ourselves. So go ahead, sir.
All right. You can, of course, find me and the Gadsden Flag almost every day on Scottish Viking Gaming on Rumble. Not hard to find. You can also find me on Twitter under Brian Lee Mallory. Also Facebook under Brian Lee Mallory. Instagram under Brian Lee Mallory. The real BLM, he's pretty much everywhere. So not hard to find. But I would rather that you all come to Scottish Viking Gaming, have a good time, laugh, play games, join me because I've had many a fan come and play games. It is a fun time. Don't forget to follow and like.
Yep. It's and all his links will be in the description below, so you can just click on it and go from there, and make it a little easier for you. Because we know how hard it is just to type something online since we're so used to instant gratification. Anyway, but anyway, I gotta pull my thing up. So, ladies and gentlemen, y'all know I stream to YouTube and Rumble at Daramouthe. I have as you see, I have a Discord at Daramouthe, trying to keep it all under the same name. I couldn't with Twitter X because there was an unfortunate thing of where they like to suspend without reason, and that's what happened. But anyway, I have a fan account on Twitter X at Daramouthe, and you can also email me at Crazer6, which is strolling underneath the lovable SVG over there. And the opportunity is open to just about anyone. Again, if you'd like to have the same opportunity, just either go to any of those three places, the Twitter X, the Discord, the email, or just leave a comment on either side, YouTube or Rumble, and we can get started. It's not that difficult.
Not at all.
You've heard me say there are some people who don't know how to speak well, don't know how to have a conversation. I'm like, I can carry that load. It's fine. I can carry that boulder. It's okay, guys. But if you're willing to take a step, if you're willing to lend yourself to a bit of confidence, come on up. Let's just get it started, because it's I tell you what, I've had people who haven't shown their face before. It's fine if you don't want to show your face. Look at Mr. SVG over here. He talked about how he's more of a better listener than a conversationalist. And look at him now. He's speaking better than he was before. So, it's a miracle.
Came out of my shell. Ooh.
The Lord placed his hand upon him and said, "You shall speak better." And I said, "Amen." And everyone was like, "Holy hell." Oh my gosh. But it's not impossible. It is not impossible. I'm still going to go out. I'm still going to fish for people to come on. I still am. But I'm looking forward to having about every month filled, because, again, like I said, Rumble has millions. YouTube has billions. Every day, someone new can come on, or someone old can come on, and we have this thing where we can sit down, have a one-on-one conversation about whatever, and just go from there. It's not that hard. It's that easy. And I look forward to everyone I have coming on here. Look forward to Silver Fox coming on. I look forward to SVG coming on. I look forward to whoever will be next, I'll name. But before I name that person, before we head off, I do have to say, I do have to do the YouTube content creator thing, because if I wanna have more people on, I gotta be seen more. I know it's annoying. Don't get me wrong. I was there to many other content creators like, "Oh, guys, can you just stop asking?" But I understand why they did it, because if they wanted their channel to grow or whatever, I'm building my credibility. Look, numbers, all that. It's all credibility to this name right here. To have more people on, to be seen by more, and then to have, that feeding into that cycle of having more people on, being seen more people, having more people on. The sky's the limit with having a conversation with anyone. Some will be similar, some will be different. If you want to see more of that, if you want to help support to see more of that, liking, following, leaving a comment. All of that helps. Either do all three or do one of the three. Doesn't matter. Any one of those things will help in being seen by more people, because that's how it works. If I want to have more people on, I kind of have to do this thing where I'm seen by more. I'm not going to get like 1,000 likes. I don't know if I'll ever get 1,000 likes or if I'll or whatever. But the aim is to build credibility so I can have more, so I can do more, right? Like, I'm hoping one day I can go from a full-time job to a part-time job, because I still have a job, because this is followable. But I don't. I focus on this, the conversation, just us, just the two of us. I'm not gonna sing the song, but you know what I'm singing. But we get to have fun. We get to talk about just about whatever. I know I stream to YouTube and all that stuff, but for right now, I give 98% of the field. I just ask for the 2% to be respected. We're good. We already deal with the 98% every day anyway, so it's not like asking too much. Even I had Silver Fox on, the guy who would probably say the bundle of sticks word almost every time, but he knew. He was on YouTube before, but he could say F you for the whole thing. I didn't care as long as he understood they're just 2%. 2%. So anyway, guys, by doing any one of those three or all those three, you help out me seeing more and all that stuff, and I greatly appreciate it, all of it. I greatly appreciate you having on. SVG, you are always welcome back, because you are an awesome dude. You have a beard, so that kind of helps. If you didn't have a beard, I think people would just call you cue ball. I think at a certain point, like, he looks so shiny. It's like, I can't see.
Gets rid of dirt and grime in only just a minute.
That's right, Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean. Oh my gosh, but yeah. So I'm grateful and appreciative you came on. You're always welcome back. Same for the people who are in chat. People came to watch on either end. I'm always appreciative you coming to watch. You guys help me gain more people, gain more eyes on me to gain. No, you're fine. You help me gain more eyes on me to gain more people to come on, and it's gonna be a banger of a time. So anyway, right, yes. Who's gonna be on tomorrow? That I've gotta look that up. I've got to look that up first. So tomorrow.
The envelope, please.
No, I was just having seizures. Anyway, anyway, tomorrow, Wednesday the 8th at 7 p.m., I will have on Hans. Thank you, Mediocre Girl. Good show, guys. Dara, you don't need to apologize or explain. Asking people like, it's not cringe or exploitive. It's perfectly reasonable. I'm trying to be humble about this. Main part of this as well is to be as humble as possible, because I don't want to be the other creators that end up being like, they get so this whole grandeur about themselves. Look, I can die tomorrow. That's how fragile life is. I can die tomorrow, right? I want to be as humble about this as possible, because this is a time capsule between you and I. Unless the platform erases it, then it's gone. But this is a time capsule between you and I. We get to see people get to see the action. They get to see how the fun is, and then the next person, and then the next person, and then the next person, and the previous people before that. People get to see the time capsule of our time together, and that's the best part, because they get to see the human. They get to see the human factor, right? No more arguing about who's the better in the politics. No more arguing about the stupidity of Hollywood and all this stuff. Two people, two human beings, man or woman, doesn't matter, have a conversation, and we just have fun with it. We get to laugh at ourselves, we get to laugh at others, and we get to not be so serious about it, because life can end tomorrow. That's how fragile it is. I know people don't like thinking about mortality, but that you sooner or later you're gonna have to. I'm sorry, you hear a car crash.
Everybody's survival rate eventually drops to 0.
Yeah. Someone eventually gets struck by lightning, whether it's you or your next door neighbor. You never know. But yes, like with everyone else, Mediocre Girl, or MGG, you're welcome to come on anytime. I'll just let me know if you ever want to come on. But anyway, yes, the person I'm going to have on tomorrow is Hans. Actually, the full name is Hans. He's in Discord, so I got to look up his name. Full name is Hans Diamondball, and he was someone that I met across from my PIF stream, or my Pay It Forward stream. So he is part of that ordeal, or like Heck in the Y. They were recipients of that. He was a recipient of that as well. So I'm going to have him on tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern, the same time as SVG over here. So so yeah, don't miss out on it, because I tell you what, if you've looked at my past streams, and most of them, majority of them are like under 3 hours. Few of them are above that, but a majority of them are under 3 hours. So they're easy to watch, right? Like 1-2 hours. I figured people can go through my stuff more than they say for gaming, because gaming is like 5, 6, 7, 8 hours in a row. I'm just like
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Oh,
You could go through multiple of my things within a day. So anyway, 7 p.m. Eastern tomorrow with Hans Diamondball. It'll be a fun time like it was today. So I hope to see you guys there. And
Don't miss
yeah, and don't miss out, because it's only live once, right? After that, it's just a replay. So you only get to see it live once. So don't miss out.
Hey, you can join in the chat.
Yeah, there you go. Like MGG or everyone else, like Steve. Steve's a bit of a naughty person, but we love him anyway. All right. But just like before, all my intro and outro songs are by Pogo. He doesn't copyright people for playing his music as long as it's not malicious or whatever. I did get hit by a content ID claim, but probably because he used it was like tech, like a music company or whatever. It's the content ID, so no strike or whatever on YouTube. That's just how I know. So, but a majority of his stuff is no copyright. As long as it's not malicious, as long as it's not nefarious, you're okay. You can play his stuff. So anyway, the one that I play us out on is called One Day With You. And don't forget to mute your mic as well. So again, 7 p.m. Eastern tomorrow with Hans Diamondball. Some names are a little harder than others. I say SVG because it's a lot. It's a lot after a while. But anyway, guys.
Thanks for having me on, man.
And you're welcome back anytime. All right, guys.
Sweet.
See you tomorrow. One Day With You by Pogo. See you there, guys. Bye.